Oh yeah, it's life.
Are you hanging up your headnote on the wall? It's a time the unconnected get the call. Does it boost the speeds much higher? Are the dead zones getting small? Are your neighbors streaming Netflix in their pool? So here it is, Merry Christmas, we're connecting everyone. Look to the future now, this network's just begun. Are you waiting for the Earth nodes to arrive? Though the bear market has hit, we're still alive. Uplift turf in New York's heartland, Tristan's Cleveland standing tall. World Mobile keeps on building for them all. So here it is, Merry Christmas, we're connecting everyone. Look to the future now, this network's just begun. What will the skeptics do when they see the Binance listing gets confirmed? Are you hanging up your node on the wall? Are you hoping that a snow of tokens fall? Do you slide on down the test net to an Earth node you've deployed? When the airdrops hit, you're feeling overjoyed. So here it is, Merry Christmas, we're connecting everyone. Look to the future now, this network's just begun. So here it is, Merry Christmas, we're connecting everyone. Look to the future now, this network's just begun. So here it is, Merry Christmas, we're connecting everyone. Look to the future now, this network's just begun.
Yeah. Wow. That was Rick Middleton, everybody. Holy moly, that was cool.
That was awesome.
Cal, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Rob. I'm doing excellent. Happy Saturday to everybody. Happy Saturday to you, Rob. How are you doing?
You as well. Good, good. It's Saturday, the 20th of December, 2025. What we just opened with was Rick Middleton. Every year he does a Christmas song for the World Mobile Community. I think that was the fourth one. And I talked to him a little bit about that. And that took over 75 hours to produce. So he was able to make the video. He had to do it in chunks of like 3 to 5 seconds at a time, using AI and all these other things that he did. My goodness, that was incredible. Very, very, very creative. I think everyone was happy to see themselves as a little South Park character too. And so
I loved it. It was awesome. Well done, Rick. Well done. And then well
With
done
that,
whoever was singing on the background too. That was pretty cool.
what you know what that means for that means Christmas is almost here. Means the New Year is almost here, and it means that we have another year of World Mobile pretty much in the books. And so, you know, we're definitely very spoiled. When we first started doing these shows, I remember the very first show, Theo from Chef Steakpool, Chef Nodes was able to line up Zach, the master of coin, as I called him, the head of token, way back, and he was on our first show. But then we went for like, I don't know, 6 or 8 months before we had anyone from the team. And now it feels like, you know, once a month we're getting Mickey or Josh or somebody to come on these shows. And I think we're very spoiled in that way. But here, the last video stream, we'll probably do an X stream next week between Christmas and New Year's, but the last video stream, we have Mr. Telecoms with us to help us close out the year. So let's bring him up. Mickey, you are on the stage, my friend. How are you doing today?
What a wonderful song that was. Rick always does us proud.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, he's a legend, isn't he, in the community? So
Absolutely.
I'm very happy. I've got some vocals in there as well, which I think might be the first time I've ever sung on a Christmas song. I've definitely played a solo on one of them, but this will be the first time that my baritone voice was used. So I'm glad to be a part of history.
Well, we're glad that you're here with us today. You know, helping us close out the year the right way. And I mean, there's so much that we could talk about with World Mobile, where you started from, you know, before the community even got involved, or just, you know, what's happened this year. But oh, thank you, Cal.
Man, this year was unbelievable. So it's I think truly set the foundations. All the bits that were proof of concepts have all been put in place. So 2026 is about customer acquisition, and that's what it needs to be about, because customers are what brings revenue, and revenue is what makes these tokenomics work. And when tokenomics work, we then climb to the position that we should be in. So I'm looking forward, in fact, maybe a bit too eagerly, to the 2nd or 3rd of January, because we lose a lot of staff through Hanukkah, through Christmas, through other festivities that happen, and of course the New Year. So I'm kind of sitting here very happy, looking forward to being able to spend some time with my family. It's been a hard year for them as well in terms of capacity and attention from me. But at the same time, I'm also sat here chewing my nails thinking, okay, let's get this over and done with. I want everyone to come back to work. We need customers to come onto the network, and USA needs to be full of World Mobile subscribers, Korea as well.
Well, absolutely. You know, it's been a very long year with a lot of things that have happened, a lot that we've seen you guys accomplish, a lot of things that we've been able to take a part in. And I look back, I went through just our X account, and I was looking at the just the posts that we have made from the Alliance account, and I want to pull this up here real quick, but um, one of the first highlights for me, at least for this year, was in February when Cal and I got to go out with Emmanuel and Charles. We all met up in Denver, which was, you know, I took my family with me. It was a nice 8-hour drive, and we got to hang out at ETH Denver, and you know, kind of spread the word about World Mobile. And you know, I feel like that was just a really good start to the year. You know, in February. We've done so many things. We had Rare Evo, which was an incredible success. Just from a community standpoint, we've seen massive things like the stratospheric launch. You know, so many other big announcements, and I look back on this year and I feel like we're starting to get to that point where we are feeling like we're there. We're ready to take over. Things are happening. Things are moving. I ported my number over to World Mobile this year. I'm full-time on World Mobile. I got rid of AT&T, which is really nice. And, excited for the air nodes, excited for the earth nodes, which are right there on the cusp. Network builder. I mean, there's so many good things happening. And it's just, Mickey, I don't know how you can take it all in, thinking about how far we've come also with everything on the horizon. That's why I loved what you posted out there. You said, hey, folks, I'm putting a bounty out. I want you to tell me what we've accomplished and do it succinctly, because there's so much. I mean, Mickey, we could be on a show for an hour and a half with me and Cal just chatting about the things that have happened this year, let alone your history. There's been so many amazing things happening. And so we're very, very excited to look at that, kind of bask in what's happened so far, but also step into that future, that next step, which is, like you said, January 2nd, January 3rd. It's right there when we can get out of this holiday season and really push forward again.
Boy, do we have some surprises ready for the new year for everybody. It's seismic. That's all I would say, is that this, again, just want to reiterate, this year was a year of, okay, we've done it in Zanzibar. We did it in a few other African countries. We really did it properly in Pakistan. We then went out and started building out Reno, and really got to a strong point by January, February this year in Reno. Then the AMS came live. Then all of a sudden we're like, okay, the mobile core is working, but it had some hiccups. Thankfully, all of the founders that bought the SIM card in the beginning have helped us to fix those. Still a couple more. There's still an RCS and some Wi-Fi handoff, but I think, Clover, you've got some probably good news with a new SIM that you've tested, a new profile. So it's time to hit the how do they say it? Hit the gas, put the metal to the pedal, and to get us to a point now where actually we are recognized not just for the good work we've done, not just for the 2.9 million daily active users that we have, but recognition in the space. There's a lot of noise still. I put a post out the other day. It was definitely surprising and unsurprising at the same time. As we moved into multi-chain, we lost a lot of support, right? Which for me, if I look at it objectively, I think, wow, the amount, I think we've connected over 300,000 children. We've connected well over 2 million adults that use the internet daily. We are still on Cardano. We still love Cardano. Still a very good friend of Charles. Still a very good friend of Tim. Still a very good friend of a lot of the Cardano community. But maximalism really is showing right now. So I definitely don't want to be negative here. But we chose to build a company in the public. We chose to build a company with a sharing economy. And this is the consequence of doing so. But equally, when we're riding high and the token is in a place where the price is justified rather than now, which is completely suppressed through some negative feelings from the community and jumping from project to project. That's what happens in crypto. This is the major problem. And one of the things maybe didn't get noticed so much in the post that I put, the biggest mistake that has happened in crypto is people building for crypto. That's the single biggest mistake. And that's why we're in today, because you then have a small amount of people that believe. And then when they lose belief, they jump from one project to another. And then when they regain belief, they jumped out of that project back into another one. And there's no new money coming in. And that's what the whole market's feeling right now. That's exactly the point that we're at. So I'm so glad that we took the decision that we took 4 or 5 years ago to say, we're going to make this so that you can just use your service and use blockchain. We're not going to make this a super Web3 project that you have to jump through hoops and do this and do that and do somersaults, and then maybe it's going to be okay. Because you can't bring mass adoption if you don't make it easy for everybody to use. And I think every project is starting to feel like that right now, except from World Mobile. That's it. Our biggest, what would I say? Our biggest issue that we have at the moment, personally, I don't think it's an issue. But I think that if I'm looking from the community perspective, is the average revenue per user. But wow, are you serious? Can you not see where we started? Can you not see where we're coming from? Can you not see what the average revenue per user is in the United States of America, in Europe, and in other parts of Asia? So as soon as we start to bring those customers in, all of a sudden, a lot of people will be like, oh, what's happened?
Why is World Mobile where it is now? And it won't be an overnight success. Oh, they started to do it right. They started to use the token. They started to do this. It's been built properly from the very beginning. Yes, we've had hurdles. Yes, we've had hiccups. Yes, we've had things that didn't go the way that we wanted it to go or could have gone. But isn't that for every business in the world? And the most important is that some businesses, things don't go the way they go, and that's it. Boom, gone, vanished, finished. World Mobile's still here, still very strong, still ready to take over, still committed to connecting 1 billion people by 2030 or before, and we're fully on track. If you look at Network Builder, that's a very exciting platform. And just to clarify here, Network Builder is not a fundraiser. I've seen it going around a lot. People say, oh, World Mobile, it's a fundraiser. They're trying to extract more money from the community. Not at all. You pay in World Mobile tokens. Those World Mobile tokens get locked up. You get a permit. You then become an operator. Our operators are the World Mobile team. We've used this platform in multiple different elements that were not yet brought together. Network Builder is that. Our head of NOC sits in England. He's built out Pakistan. He's built out Zanzibar. He's built out Kenya. He's built out the bits in Nigeria. He continues to build out the United States of America. So Network Builder is that tool that you can also become your own operator. You can become your own AT&T, your own Verizon, your own T-Mobile, your own whoever you want to be, however hard you wish to work. The tool is now there for you to do so. And I believe that there's going to be a lot of success over 2026. Maybe it will be limited to a few tens or a few 20s of people. But then, wow, 2027, what do you think? If the success is shown by people in the community that they can sit in their front room at their computer desk and operate a mobile network and build it, is that not the most disruptive technology in telecom since telecom was invented? For me, I think that is. And then scan for points. You know, we've got a lot of data. Thank you very much, scanners. In January, February, scanners will know how important they are to the network. They'll have their rewards that they've been building up. And then you've got the air nodes. If you can tell me another project that has 100,000 nodes out there owned by the community that are actually connecting people, I'd be quite surprised at this stage. There's many projects that have Wi-Fi boxes that they convert in people's houses, and then they come online as nodes. But how many people are they connecting? What difference are they making? And then the Earth nodes. You've got the team working around the clock, which they should be. Don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for sympathy here. But around the clock, even today, the closed user group is about to start. There's been a couple of hiccups over the last 2-3 days. I think Nico has updated the channels there. But we believe that before Christmas, the closed user group will be deploying the first ever Earth nodes from the community. So then we'll go into January, and hopefully all the bugs will be ironed out. But it's coming. Everything has come together so beautifully and so well. It's a shame about the market conditions, but yet again, just as I said about Web3 people, we don't care about the market conditions. Yep, it's painful. It's painful to see the token in this state. It's painful to see the community, not all of them, I must say, but much of the community very upset with token price. But if we built this differently, we would succumb to the pressure that is on every crypto project right now. We didn't. We built it right, and we made sure that we're now in a position to capitalize as a real business, not as a Web3 business, as a real business. And one final thing that I want to say as well, I hear so much rubbish, really, really, really rubbish, talking about how WMTX is not important, and WMTX and Mr. T, do something about the token. The only thing the community own is a token. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. The community own the Earth nodes, they own the air nodes, they're going to own the hexes, the permits to operate, they own their scanning. More importantly, they own their own data. So we've got ourselves in a very cool position. And again, this 2-week, 3-week break that is going to happen for everybody over December, January. Looking forward to it. I wish all my staff, all my community the best and to enjoy as much as they can. But on the same side, I say, okay, get back to work ASAP, guys. You know, we've got 1 billion people to connect. We've got a sharing economy to deploy. And I think exciting is a word I use a lot, but I think it's way beyond exciting. There's a chance here that World Mobile will go down in the history books as the most disruptive force that has ever hit the society, the every person. World Mobile isn't built for the elite people. It's not built for whales. It's not built for billionaires. It's built for everyone. And it's built for everyone to be able to operate, to reclaim our power and get us back into a position where all of a sudden we now control the telecom network that we use. We now control our own data on the telecom network we use. We now control whether we want to make money from telecom, whereas previously we could never have done that.
You know, Mickey, you talked about token price and network builder, and you kind of you talked about how the token will be used specifically in network builder. And I wanted to make a comment because we normally don't talk about price. Price isn't something that concerns us as far as what it's doing on the daily or weekly or even monthly, because, you know, with Cal and I both Earth node operators, we're here obviously very long term. Right now, I mean, I feel like, hey, this is a steal if you have the extra cash to buy some, because the price is down, so you can get more. I remember buying 2 for $1, right? And man, I was like, man, if this goes up, that's great. Now you can get a lot more than 2 for $1 at the moment. The concern I have, Mickey, is with the price being depressed as it is, and then you saying, with network builder, you're going to pay in WMTX. So for a lot of people, you're talking a significant value loss as far as, you know, the price they paid for the token versus what they'd be more or less selling it at to buy these hexes. And so I think there's been some apprehension there of only being able to pay in WMTX. It's one thing if you buy it right now, you buy $100 worth or $1,000 worth, and then you have that ready to go. But for people who bought a long time ago and they're holding, and all of a sudden now they're taking an 80% loss or a 50% loss on their token to buy in a network builder, that feels like a double gut punch there, because you're losing your token, but you're also it's costing quite a bit more than what you paid. So I don't know if you could speak to that at all about why you chose to go the WMTX route only for network builder.
I think it strengthens World Mobile Token. If more World Mobile Token is locked up indefinitely, I don't believe in burning. I think it's a silly thing to do. We have a fixed supply. We did that for a reason. But if World Mobile Token is locked up, then that is better for the community as a whole. So that was the first reason. We will consider putting in stablecoins, USDC on base, most likely. But if we receive those stablecoins, we'll then go out and buy World Mobile Token and lock them up. So it's pretty much the same thing. I think World Mobile Token has a lot of use in the network already. I touched on this. Maybe we haven't been clear enough in our communications. It's hard sometimes when you're working and you're trying to fit a 28-hour day into an 18-hour day and make the team do what they need to do, and also keep the morale up of the team, right? Because the team sitting there working, they come joyous and happy. Okay, we achieved this, we've done that, we've launched this. Yes, okay. They then come onto crypto Twitter and be like, hold on, what's going on here? It doesn't feel the same. So that's always an effort. And when you're asking people to work 6 or 7 days a week, doesn't matter, by the way, if you have a 40-person team or you have a 100-person team or you have a 150-person team. You find yourself still asking them to put the maximum in, right? It's not like you can rotate. So, and we're very fortunate to have a mentality certainly over the last 2 years where it's FIFO. Okay, so if you feel World Mobile and you're there and you're fully committed to World Mobile, we'll do anything for you. If you have World Mobile and you have another life, it doesn't really fit. Right, as cruel as that sounds, it just doesn't, because we're trying to do things that nobody else has ever done before, and we have done many things already that can put us in the history books, but it's not yet at the big enough scale. And it's the same with the token. You know, you talk about the token. Why? Because it's relevant. It's probably the thing that people are most talking about at the moment. And you have people coming in and they're saying, "Is that a ginger beer, by the way?" It's the best Bundaberg. I have this one in the fridge as well. So you have people coming in and saying, "Oh, but the token and but this and but that," and I get messages in my inbox on Twitter and on Telegram, and I get it, but we're also token holders as well. I get it. There's not a person earning from the co-founders $100,000 a year even, okay? And that's certainly not me. To this date, I haven't taken a single penny as a salary from World Mobile. I came to World Mobile successful previous to starting this. I come to World Mobile because I wanted to do something that would make a change to the world, and not a charitable change or something to go and pick up litter from the sea. And as much of those things are so very important, they only have a certain amount of longevity. It's a hype, it's a trend, people follow, they do, and then they move on to the next thing. I came to World Mobile to build something that would stay forever, something that would inspire the people who wanted to be part of the sharing economy to continue to do that, something that would give incentives. And arguably, the only thing that's worked for people so far is air nodes. And air nodes are such an important element from the World Mobile ecosystem. People don't understand that. So sell less air nodes, focus more on the token. Every single interaction, every single air node needs to report back to the network using World Mobile token. Every single customer that connects to an air node needs to use World Mobile token. Air nodes are a key part. So we find ourselves now, again, in a state where all of the different elements have come together. So in the first quarter of 2026, we'll be able to fine-tune those, understand a lot more about Network Builder and what more help people need. No one's seen William yet. William won't appear until the middle of January. And then he'll appear across the World Mobile ecosystem. Our learnings will become greater. As our learnings become greater, the customers will become more. As the customers become more, the usage of World Mobile token will become more. And that's just the core, right? That's not even thinking about the ecosystem as it is. Think now, you have 3,000 Unity nodes approximately minted on World Mobile chain. You have 100,000 Air-node NFTs that will come to the ecosystem that will be made probably on World Mobile chain, although we are considering for visibility, maybe we start on Base or we start on Ethereum, because there are not many real world assets that do what Air-nodes do. Wise Lending came onto the last AMA of World Mobile and said, I'm paying my bills, I'm living off of this product. This is the best product in the whole of crypto. So, and then they're not the only people. If you speak to Air-node operators, I think the only complaints we get is there's not enough Air-nodes. And there was complaints about some dashboards and some things that we needed to change, and slowly they've all been fixed. They're very happy part of the ecosystem. My job next is to make Earth-node operators take that value and become really happy in the ecosystem. And then at the same time, network builders to give them the rewards. And the rewards are not small there, right? For, you know, Mike has published a blog, I think yesterday. Blog is probably the wrong word. It's a huge essay that describes everything that we can think about, that we've gone through, all the way from affiliates, how to run, what your permissions are, what you need to do, how to bid, how to go into the ecosystem. And that's a pretty hefty document, you know, and that's going to grow. And then it's going to be fed into William. And then we're going to learn. And then we're going to be able to do what we're meant to do, which is connect people. And then that connection is going to have seamless use of World Mobile token. So sometimes I sit here and I'm like, at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, can I believe what I'm seeing, what I'm being seen written about us? It's like the people that are writing about it have never actually dived into World Mobile at all. And in some ways, I wish there was almost a gated community on X where you had to prove you hold World Mobile tokens, because I also believe that a lot of the people talking don't hold World Mobile tokens or may never have held World Mobile tokens. But then on the other side, I say, wow, look how much attention we've got. Look how much we're living in people's heads. Look how much we're doing. And then on the other side, I wake up and I see fucking 6 cents on the token. Excuse my French. It's my kids do go to a French school. So, and I'm like, okay, how can this be? And then I'm calling up and I'm seeing and I'm looking and we're tracking all wallets and we're seeing who's doing what. And I'm seeing it's just an implode on the market. And then I look at the market conditions, and then I remind myself again in that loop, hold on, we've done it right. We didn't build something for just Web3. When we come out of this darkness, there's going to be many more that stay in that abyss of darkness and maybe don't survive, compared to projects like ourselves or projects like IAG, for example, that are going for real world usage, or other projects, you know, not many in the Cardano ecosystem. So even projects like Night, you know, right now it's got its momentum. Where are the users coming from? Who's going to use it? I think Charles has learned a lot from his experience with Cardano. his experience with Ethereum Classic, his experience with Ethereum, his experience with BitShares. You know, he's been in a lot of projects in the last 8 years, 9 years. So hopefully this is the one. But if he doesn't bring customers, if any of these projects don't bring customers, they're dead. Crypto is not going to live unless we make crypto available to all. You know, I think we are going to have a bull run as well. I think we're very well situated to have a bull run. We already have a couple of tier one exchanges. There's a couple more on the way. But do we need that bull run? Okay, for morale, for people, yes, they probably do. But does World Mobile really need to rely on market conditions or a bull run? No, because telecom is always in a bull run. Telecom increases every single year. The problem for telecom companies is legacy infrastructure and legacy business models. That's why their EBITDAs are falling. Very different for World Mobile. If you look at the sharing economy and how the sharing economy is built, and you look at everything that we've shown, talked about, the vision, have we achieved the numbers that we wanted to? I'd say almost. Have we achieved a lot more than other people have, including other telcos? I say yes, but that's not what's important. What's important is how we achieved it, how we got to where we are today. And that is through a sharing economy. That's through a community. It's through people like you, Rob, and people like you, Clover, and the countless other hundreds of people that support World Mobile and are part of World Mobile, and they're making World Mobile the vision. They continue it. They talk about it. I'm sure at Christmas, you'll sit there and you'll talk about it. I will be sitting there and talking about it. When I was out today, I was helping some people to prepare themselves for Christmas, far more unfortunate than us. And I was talking, they asked me in Spanish, what do you do? I said to them, okay, I connect people. You know, I run a telecom company. Oh, well, like movies. I said, oh, no, very different. And all of a sudden I had, 16, 17 people, kids and adults sat around me that were saying, wow, this is really good. How do we get involved here in Spain? You know, we're on the breadline. Some of us, we live in a house with 25 people with 3 bedrooms. You know, can we put a radio on our roof? Because that extra $200 a month would make a lot of sense. And it's when you sit with moments like this and you say, okay, this is normal. This is normal to the disbelief stage, I would say. We've achieved so much. And now we need to be at the point where next year, people start to say, oh, wow, I know why I was in this. And then you know what? All the money that's rotated into other projects, I can guarantee you it will be back at World Mobile very, very quickly. And when the bear market comes, which it probably will in June, July next year, and if you want my opinion, not financial advice, this is not a bear market. This is a massive shakeout. This is coordinated and it's meant to happen like this. February, March, I think we're going to see Bitcoin well above 100K. And then maybe April, May, June, climbing up towards the 150 to 200K is what I see, is what I can feel, and from the people that I speak to. But again, none of that matters to me, and it shouldn't matter to you, because we're building something that doesn't rely on market conditions. We're building something that has such a diversified income stream from every single element of the network. You can choose who you want to be. You want to be a speculator, no problems. You go and buy the tokens. You want to be a trader, no problem. You go and buy the token. You want to be an air node operator, and you want to earn fiat, no problem. You want to earn extra fiat by staking, no problem. You want to be an earth node operator, no problem. It's all there for you, your part, and it's diversified, and that's the key part. So I reckon mid-2026, we'll see World Mobile with its first huge user base, relatively huge user base in the United States of America. And I think by the end of 2026, we'll hit at least 1 million person mark. I've been pretty clear for anybody that wants to see what that does. And I'll probably ask Emmanuel Gratch to break it down on an Excel. But yeah, it should be pretty plain. Maths, we bring in users. Around 10% of the revenue of the entire network gets bought in WMTX. That gets paid out to Earth node operators. Earth node operators probably don't sell it all. They continue to stake. They continue to do their thing. And you start to have more buying pressure than you do selling pressure. And then at 2 million users, forget it. There won't be a bigger project in crypto. Maybe Hyperliquid is, something like that, or Asta, or some of the exchanges. But other than that, at 2 million USA users, it's game over for a bear market. It's a perpetual bull market run by World Mobile. And where will we be in a year's time? How many nodes will we have? What would the infrastructure look like? How much fine tuning would we have done? I can say if history repeats itself, year on year, we've grown significantly. And remember, by the end of 2026, we would have finished all of our flight tests with British Telecom, with different governments, with other mobile network operators. So we'll be heading into 2027 with each of our airplanes, of our spacecrafts, of our stratospheric vehicles, connecting 500,000 people upwards. And all of a sudden, you bring on 20 of those vehicles, 30 of those vehicles mid-2027, towards the end of 2027, and you start to see, okay, how do you get to the billion users? And that's, that's something that may be new to people, but it's not new to us. We did our first flight into the stratosphere in 2021. I think the video was there. We took a balloon, we put it up there, we put a radio kit up there, and we haven't stopped ever since. We've been producing the radios. We did some good work with James Tagg. We then advanced that. We were clever. We went and bought some IP. We went and found multi-billion dollar partners that saw the vision, that wanted to be a part of this. And now we've got World Mobile Stratospheric, an incredible platform that alone, I would say, is a rival to any low Earth orbit satellite. And rival is a nice way of saying that. It actually blows it out of the water. Our cost to generate a gigabyte is around 3 cents. Just to be clear, that means that it costs us 3 cents. What we sell it for is down to us. But if you generate a gigabyte on a low Earth orbit satellite, it's going to cost even more direct to sell. It's not less. So it kind of cuts out a huge amount of the population, because unless you can afford to pay $120, $160, or $200 a month, you probably won't be able to have the full benefits of direct to satellite. And then if you're in a city, it doesn't work. If you're in Africa, it's great. But then it's going to have to be massively subsidized in order to make it effective. So it's just a part of the puzzle. And World Mobile's come in and said, boom, here's 95% of the puzzle.
Wow. I mean, the amount of things that World Mobile has brought to the table this past couple of years has been absolutely mind-blowing. Micky recently did a post asking for people to give highlights and accomplishments of what World Mobile has done. So I've created a small list of things that I would like to read out to people right now. So bear with me, because it's not really small, and it's not by chronological order by any means. I just was thinking in my head and I was just writing it out. So here we go. So these are the things that World Mobile has accomplished so far, by the way. And it's World Mobile Chain has gone live. We've gotten tier 1 exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Bitvavo, etc. We've gone multi-chain integrations with Base and Solana. We've launched the Base mini app. The USA plans have gone live. Unity has gone live. We've hit all-time highs on all metrics across the board. More air nodes, more data consumed, more subscribers, more daily active users. World Mobile Stratospheric has launched. We bought a freaking airplane. Isn't that wild? Affiliate program live. The network founder is about to turn on. Uplift. Various staking programs like core staking, for example. Premier Rewards was announced as well. There's been many partnerships, and there's a few I've written down here. 51 nodes, Zebek, IABG, SK Chain, Quantus, BWC, Toshi Mobile, Dito in the Philippines, Tokyo Invest, bringing RWS and World Mobile Chain, Global Tech, Digital Asset Treasury, etc., etc. I'm sure there's many more. Launching the very first DMVNE model, which was the first in the industry. And I'm sure that's going to shine very bright in 2026. Chainlink integration. World Mobile joined the Wi-Fi Alliance. World Mobile went out to North Carolina and partnered with Starlink to connect people who were hit by the Hurricane Helene. World Mobile went out to LA and connected Tristan Thompson House. We were featured in many reports, like the 2025 Deepen report by the blog. Earth Notes are about to turn on as well. The Faith Academy in Kenya, and working alongside with Giga Academy to connect students and provide them with education. The first commercial aerostat was also launched by World Mobile. The 2024 MWC Award and the 2025 Rare Award for the best community in Web3. And this is all I wrote down, but it's absolutely mind-blowing what World Mobile has accomplished so they. And by the way, there's so much more that I didn't write down here. I just did it this morning super fast in my head because I know how hard World Mobile works, and I just wanted to read this list out to people so they kind of understand what's happening behind the scenes. And yeah, it's wild. I wanted to ask you both, what's your favorite highlight so far that I've written from this list? I would love to hear.
Well, I've got my own list, of course. And I was thinking about it as I wrote there. Maybe I compete in my own competition, but I don't think I should do for the bounty. But you're right. Like World Mobile, we surpassed 1,000 days of network uptime. We reached 1 million daily active users at the beginning of the year. US cellular rollout happens. The new 2025 rebrands was upsetting to many, Rob, but I think overall it was pretty cool. It was a shock to get the yellow. For me, it was as well. But in the end, we stand out. We're different. We have something that's very, very, very beautiful. The Hex Guardian platform was announced, and all of a sudden, it's coming out. The Wise Lending partnership, actually much bigger than most people think. From that, we have a lot of lending platforms that are talking to World Mobile that want to come in and they want to buy air nodes. Then we did the rebrands. We talked about it, then we did it. Then we did the new World Mobile website. Then we released the first USA phone plans and we announced them. And then Premier Staking got announced. Then MWC Barcelona happens, where we again won some awards. And then the Ditto partnership was announced. And then Giggle Academy Kenya. And then the Airnode sales platform got upgraded. Lots of performance improvements. And then Paris Blockchain Week, Mansion House, Token 2049, Scans for Points relaunch was announced. Titan Airnodes returns. The phone plan beta onboarded ambassador and affiliates. Then we had Rare Evo, of course, the #1 crypto event of all, especially for World Mobile. And then we announced Network Builders, and then Stratospheric, and then TT joined us, and then the actual phone plans launched, and then the base app happened, and the career launch happened, and then Uplift happened, and then Spark Drops began to come in, and then the number of ANOs increased, and ANs increased, and users increased, and transactions on World Mobile Chain, and then the World Mobile Chain mainnet roadmap was outlined, and then Houdini Swap and WMC Testnet, and the list goes on to about 180 columns, and I only hit you there at about 30. So as a company, we've achieved a lot. But what's excited me, all of it. What's excited me is the point we are today. Now, that we've managed to create something that is very unique, is very proprietary, and is working. That's the true announcement. And I want to go back to it as well. In the last 5 years, 6 years, crypto has changed. It's changed from being something that only some very in-the-know people were involved in with a very small community, to all of a sudden being promoted by the President of the United States of America. And in his inauguration, he launched a meme coin. I'm not saying it was right. I don't think it was. But what a way to say crypto is mainstream. It was a true way. But the first wave of crypto was purely built on speculation. I think from 2026 onwards, we're going to find that the next wave has to have been built on revenue, or people are dead. Projects are dead. There's many projects as well that I won't name now that we know that are dying, that are on their way out, because most projects didn't have customers, they had no recurring revenue, and they actually didn't have any utility. They purely relied on token appreciation and treasury recycling, not on real world cash flow. So World Mobile came into this space and was a breath of fresh air, I think, for a lot of people, that crypto could touch the real world, that could change people's lives. It was a company that promised to generate revenue, something we've delivered on. A company that was powered by real telecom users, real infrastructure, and real yield. And why was that opportunity there? Why is that $1 trillion opportunity still there? And why are we capitalizing on it? We're capitalizing because legacy telecoms, it can't keep up. I've said it for a very long time, and we're witnessing it. We're seeing mass defections from legacy mobile operators because they're not happy, the customers, because they're not happy with the service they're getting, and people are starting to clock on that actually we aim to be private, we aim to be confidential in when we talk to our girlfriends, or we talk to our wives, or we talk to our families or our business partners, but Are we private? Are we confidential? No. And then we aim to use our service, but the demand is growing. 250% growth is predicted by 2027. That's a year away now, right? And then there's trillions of dollars in the digital economy that rely purely on telecom infrastructure. So the opportunity is there. And if you look at World Mobile, there's several revenue engines, but if you look at it as a triangle, there's three. There's connectivity services, so revenue from phone plans, roaming, enterprise solutions, and data usage. There's the blockchain element, which is what most projects have, but they don't have revenue coming in from the real world. But that's revenue from transaction fees. That's happening right now on World Mobile Chain, seamlessly. There's delegation rewards, and of course, there's network services. And then there's the infrastructure, which is a huge part. And that's revenue from people running their nodes, their air nodes. There's wholesale roaming agreements that are coming in. They will take a while to really bed in. It's a fight that we're fighting, and we have a big legal team in the United States and around the world that continue to knock on the doors of the big carriers and say, hey, why are you giving such shitty service to your customers? You should be using other networks around you, and we're holding them accountable. So the next $1 trillion opportunity was there. And how do we get to that $1 trillion opportunity? Well, I think the most important thing is the sharing economy. So if you look at the model, it's a sharing economy now powered by AI. So it's a decentralized network where infrastructure is owned by actually the users. And when I say we've got 100,000 nodes out there, that is not a small feat. That is something absolutely gigantic that are operating, that are connecting people. And then with William, it's going to be AI-driven planning. It's going to be a place to deploy infrastructure where the demand is the highest, and that accelerates the coverage growth. And then it turns operators into revenue-generating partners, right? Which is gigantic. Then you've got the innovation at the edge of space, World Mobile Stratospheric. So it's high-altitude connectivity platforms that gives that overall coverage. Previously, we talked about high-altitude assisted balloons. And we talked about aerostats. Aerostats still have a place to play in our dynamic network, but this is the best technology there is on the planet right now. It's not yet built, but the radio is. Now we bought the aircraft. Now we get to see the radio working with the aircraft. And I hope that some of the community, especially you, Rob, and other members will come to England for that and to see this, the maiden flight. And I believe there's a 95% chance it's going to be a success. And if it is, there'll be billions of dollars of orders coming in for that. And that can only do World Mobile good. That can only do World Mobile Token good. And then you've got the growth engine, the top down and bottom up. You've probably heard me talking about it a lot of times. If you look at the DMVNE platform that we've developed, it's one of a kind. It turns influence into infrastructure for celebrities, for brands. And there are several celebrities, and here's a bit of alpha. Look at the S1 filing from Cuentas that will come in before the end of the year, please God. And you'll see some names on there that you'll be shocked. They're not names that I can talk about right now. But even if these bring on 10% of our expectations, it's still millions of users in the United States of America that are baked in already, that come with those brands. And Ryan Reynolds from Mint, he managed to make a huge success of this. And then you saw Trump Mobile. They didn't manage to make a huge success of it because they chose the wrong partner to go into business with. But you saw all of a sudden influence turning into infrastructure. And then you've got the bottom up. And the bottom up, who can dispute or who can even argue or even think about arguing that World Mobile hasn't succeeded with bottom up so far in the emerging markets with its 2.8, 2.9 million daily active users, which will soon be 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 10. And even though they're tiny revenues, sometimes we get paid a few cents from some of those users. Sometimes we get paid a 10 cents from some of those users. Sometimes we get paid $2 from those users, right? As in the Sparks and the Pakistan. But we give that back. We give that back because that encourages the growth of the coverage. And when you have more coverage, you have more users. And we're not basing World Mobile on its 2.9 million users and the revenue that's coming in. We're basing it on 1 billion users, on 100 million users, then 500 million users. And then if you put all of that together and you take the sharing economy, you take the innovation at the edge of space with World Mobile Stratospheric, you take top down, you take bottom up, you see the ecosystem and the earth nodes that operate through and take that, and then World Mobile Chain, you've got the flywheel. And when you've got the flywheel, what is the flywheel? It's revenue. something that is very, very important, if not the most important thing when running a business. Revenue equals buybacks, buybacks equals scarcity, scarcity then becomes value. Every single subscriber, every single machine on the World Mobile Network feeds WMTX, eats WMTX. And then if you go even further, if you want me to, which I'm very happy to, you look at the traction, you look at the partnerships, you look at the proof. 2.8 million customers paying, real revenue, real users, real yield, a top 4, top 3, top 2 blockchain, outperforming Solana, Near, and others in user activity. And then you start to attribute WX demand, and you see that the usage of WMTX is increasing directly with the network adoption. And then we take the focus of this next year, United States of America, licensed, connected, ready to scale, 94,000 air nodes already deployed globally, a lot of them starting to pop up in the United States of America, network builders out, partnerships with T-Mobile, partnerships with AT&T, partnerships with PwC, and then you think about the viral adoption that's going to happen. And then you think about the unique tech stack, which has the Earth nodes, which have processed well over 1 billion IPDRs to date, which every single process took WMTX to do. And then you look at the agentic AI framework, which we've managed to integrate internally and is now going to be external, which will significantly increase traction and reduce OpEx. And then you think, okay, World Mobile is really going somewhere. And then if you want to dig down into how it goes somewhere because it's a sharing economy. What's the problem? Legacy telcos, they grow linearly. Every new tower is extremely CapEx heavy, centralized, and very slow to monetize. What's the solution? Well, mobile is a solution. A decentralized telecommunications company that's AI powered with its network builder platform and a sharing economy model, it's enabling us to expand faster and cheaper than any other telco in history. And we're only just outside of proof of concept. And if you think about the community funded CapEx, it's the reverse. When we speak to investors, they say, oh, what do you mean you only take this much yourselves and you give that much away to the community? And we say that you've got the mindset of 2000. You've got the mindset of 1990. We now live in 2025, 2026 almost. You need to have operators invested into their own infrastructure in order for that expansion to happen. And in order to do that, you need to give the operators the incentives, the financial rewards. And then you think about the OpEx and you say, okay, infrastructure deployment. Air nodes and the different various platforms like the stratospheric platforms, they deliver local connectivity, not put up by us, not our trucks, not our staff, not our people. And a perfect example of that has been Asia, has been Pakistan so far. And you're about to see something incredible happen in Philippines, not just with Ditto, but with several other partners. Andy pretty much has dropped everything to focus on Philippines because the opportunity is so massive. And the government have welcomed us with open arms. Private companies have welcomed us with open arms. Individuals are welcoming us as well. So you think about the infrastructure deployment. It's such an important part of a network. And you pass that on successfully to the community. And that important part, the weight of that is taken off your shoulders. But the revenue, the rewards that gives is then put in the pockets of the people operating the network. This is genius. This is very smart to be able to have achieved something like this. And then you look at user acquisition. The sharing economy, it attracts subscribers, especially with network builders. And then through operators, through affiliates, through different types of marketing that's not performed by us, you have customers. And then you look at revenue generation. Subscribers pay for mobile, they pay for broadband, they pay for the data services, and then they generate recurring fiat revenue for World Mobile, for World Mobile token, for World Mobile's ecosystem. And then you think about the on-chain settlements and so on and so on and so on. So we're very fortunate to be in the position that we're in today. And I can talk for hours and hours and hours about this. And I can say where we came from in 2021 and where we are in 2025 and where we look to be between 2026 and 2030. But there's no point in looking back, because if you spend too much looking back, you won't be able to go forward. So what we've always focused on is, okay, we've had these hurdles, we've had maybe issues, we've had these successes. We can't rejoice, we can't jump up and down in excitement that we've achieved these things. We need to continue until this is an absolute monster that has taken over. And it's a monster not powered by one centralized entity, but it's a monster that is distributed and decentralized. And eventually, World Mobile, along with William, along with the EarthNode operators, will govern the entire network. And that's something that we're very much looking forward to. And then you look at the partnerships: Prodelindo, British Telecom, Omantel, Deutsche Telekom, INCM, AT&T, Verizon. You look at the blockchain partnerships, just to name a few off the top of my head: Chainlink, Fireblocks, Copper, IBG, Alstrom. And then you look at the enterprise and the platform partners, and you think SEW. Don't forget SEW, they're still there. We're still working with them. They're a huge company with 1.6 billion customers, and we're there every week speaking to the SEW team. And then you look at Telner, you look at PwC, you look at GSMA, you look at Starlink, oh, when will Starlink send a tweet about World Mobile? Starlink don't need to send a tweet about World Mobile. Starlink call us up and say, hey, can you come and help us in Jamaica? Starlink call us up and say, hey, can you come and help us here? What does the community expect Starlink to do? Elon to come out and say, oh, World Mobile is so great. Elon is probably going to try and buy parts of World Mobile over the next 2 to 3 years, especially with the stratospheric. Will we sell? No. Why won't we sell? Because we built this to be a sharing economy and it can't be sold. I chose the hard way, but the best way to make this happen. So this is just touching on the things that we've achieved, but I don't even want to celebrate the things that we've achieved. I'm very thankful for the team. I'm very thankful for the community, but there's not a time to celebrate. It's a time to deliver more and more and more and more and more until reality hits everyone in the face. Not just the communities that are out there saying, oh, they left Cardano, they're shit, they do this, they do that, they don't care about the token holders, the World Mobile token doesn't even is used. And not to have ourselves in a position where we've got even mobile network operators. 2 years ago, nobody even thought aerostats were possible. Mobile network operators said, no, we're not going to do it. AT&T, spent hundreds of millions of dollars on an aerostat project. They never flew it. Why? Because they didn't believe. All of a sudden, they see World Mobile, they're starting to fly their aerostats again. We've inspired many, many people, but more than anything, we've hit people in the face with reality. And it's only a matter of time. And I'm looking forward to spreading out. I'm looking forward to all these big companies joining us and becoming something, because I think the appreciation will be a collective appreciation amongst the crypto communities, amongst the Wall Street communities. There's also big news to come out, which I think token holders are going to be exceptionally happy about over the next quarter of 2026, that will certainly put World Mobile in a higher ranked position, I would say. It could be overwhelming, so you just move forward and you get everything. You just carry on every day doing the things that you do. Sometimes we achieve in a week what other people take to achieve in a year.
That's incredible. And
we
you
haven't
talked
even
to
touched
Mickey.
on Unity yet, have we? Right?
No, we haven't.
All Minutes Network, which is kind of an incubated project. It's not, but Josh was at World Mobile, and then he went to build Minutes Network. He went and built a different side of the business, and then Unity was something that we'd thought about for a very long time. And around a year and a half ago, we started to talk about Unity. I think I put out the first post, might be even longer now. And Unity, as much as I see the chaos that's in that, I feel so bad for the Unity team. I have to say that. It's consistent. I would go as far as to say harassment. I'm shocked at some of the behavior of what's happening there. And actually, if you look at the rewards that are being earned by some people, it's much more than an ant miner today, now, right? And the expectations, Unity team, or Josh said $96 a month. I don't recall him ever saying that it was from the start it was going to be $96 a month. This is a whole different subject. And the fact that they're able to produce live and making this happen, and already built a network that is in, I think, close to 900 different cities and 80 different countries, or even more than 80 different countries, then it's up and it's already generating rewards. It's already doing tasks, and it's only just started. It's only just the very beginning. It's the genesis of Unity, where that will be in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. It's a massive help. And then there's other projects that also want to come out and build on World Mobile, utilize World Mobile infrastructure. And a lot of it we just have to push away. We just have to say, no, we can't. The great Antonio, he's no longer with us, but He still supports World Mobile as a co-founder, but he's, maybe he got burnt out. It was very hard for him to do what he did. But he once told me something that was a very good statement. You going up the hill with a cart with square wheels, and someone comes out the road and shouts, wait, I can give you round wheels. They'll make you go up the hill faster. You say you can't stop. That's how World Mobile is right now. You're in an airplane, you're fixing it as it goes live. That's how Unity is right now, because we're not spending years making something to then release it, no, we're giving impact immediately. And we're giving impact immediately and the majority back to the sharing economy. And that's what we live for. That's what we do. A community-powered network. People talk about people power, right, all the time. But we believe in people power. We don't just talk about it. We actually make it happen. We put the tools in the people's hands. And we give the people the opportunity to be part of something they were never part of before. So, yeah, I just want to say the Unity team, I think, are doing an amazing job. I'm very sorry that they have the shit that they get from the community. I think it's not just because of the failures of Unity in terms of inconsistency with the application and a few other things. I think it's the overall market conditions have just driven everyone crazy. That's the truth. And because why? They're not in control. Well, in the World Mobile ecosystem, in the parts that you control, you are in control, right? In Unity, you are in control. With an Earth node, as soon as it's released, you now become in control of your own destiny. With network builders, you become in control. But we're probably the only project that allows people to do that. The rest of them has relied on even in a decentralized world, relying on a centralized body where they're not in control. And they've lost so much elsewhere that in reality, if you dig down deep, probably World Mobile is one of the projects where it's their last hopes, because they've been screwed on everything else, whether it's meme coins, whether it's NFTs, whether it's other projects that promise to, make billions from DeFi. They haven't delivered. World Mobile has consistently delivered and consistently still delivers. And that's why we go back to price. I don't talk about price. I talk about price only when I see people hurting, right? Because they're hurting, and I feel that I have to be part of that conversation to say, hey man, I'm hurting too, or hey lady, I'm hurting too, right? Everyone here is hurting, but focus on what we're doing, focus on what we've achieved, focus on where we're going. And then I think a lot of the heat then comes back to the World Mobile ecosystem because of the failures of other projects, as well as the frustrations in not getting there faster with World Mobile, right? Or with Unity, or with Minutes Network, or with the other things that are within our ecosystem. But I say, if you look and you open your eyes and you can shake off the drama, name me another project that has incubated or has succeeded as much as World Mobile. And I don't think it can be named. And that's why there are not many people, in fact, 0 people, that have been able to put a thing on my post. It's open until the 24th of December. I'm definitely happy to give a bounty of $2,000. I might even up it because it's Christmas. It's not coming from World Mobile. It's coming from me personally. And I'm excited to see somebody come up with a project that has achieved as much as we have, because I don't think there are many.
I don't think there's many projects at all that have accomplished what World Mobile has accomplished as of today, and the list is extensive. And Micky, we really appreciate you coming on here and just spending time with the community, even though it's Hanukkah and Christmas coming soon, and there's holidays around, and I'm sure your family wants you to spend time, but you choose to spend time with the community. So we really all appreciate your time here, and all your encouragement and everything you just said. Is just mind-blowing, and I'm personally really beyond excited for 2026, just because I know how many things World Mobile has accomplished till today, and I see how many things are coming down the line, and I'm personally very excited. I'm mostly excited about the network builders, and you guys have done an incredible job with the platform. Me and Rob have sat down and we've extensively gone through it. We might even do a video on it when the time comes to showcase it to other people. But what advice?
It's too bad that Micky wouldn't let us tease it on the show right now.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
Okay.
sure.
I mean, we didn't ask him, but
You can tease it. Go for it.
All right, let me pull it up then. This
Not
is
too
gonna
much. It can be a 30-second tease, yeah?
30-second tease. Let me
Otherwise,
pull it up then. This is gonna be some alpha for some
Mike
people.
will kick my ass.
Mike is not gonna be happy right now. But until Rob pulls it out, I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to future network builders? Like, what do you want to see from network builders in 2026?
My advice is be prepared to work really hard, but be prepared to reap those rewards of working really hard. I think we're giving something in the region of $150 per subscriber that comes in on network builders. So you bring 1,000 people in, you're going to earn $150,000. So if you bring 10,000 people in, you can start to see this is probably a substitute to your job. And that's the intention, is we want you to quit doing whatever you're doing, and we want you to become a network builder. And we want you to take this job very, very seriously. Some of the advice that I would give is that you can do this from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be situated in the United States of America where we first open up. All you need to do is find a community that will support you, and you need to share the rewards with that community. So don't think that just because it's opened up in the USA, it's not open to everybody. And if you want to buy a hex because you live in that particular area, or your gran lives in that area, or you've been to visit Yosemite Park, or for example, a national park, then go ahead and do that. I think hexes are pretty reasonably priced in WMTX, especially ones that aren't major cities or major towns. But if you're going in to buy a major city, the rewards are major. You just need to make sure that you work to bring those rewards in. The next advice would be to lean heavily on William. So William will give you a lot of tips and will learn from other hexes what you need to do or what you should do. But the advice is, and it's, I think I was very fortunate. I came from a very humble upbringing. We lived in a government house. We didn't have any internet. My mum fought for internet, and that was my initial drive to becoming in telecom. And then, I teamed up with Josh for many, many, many years, and we built many businesses together. But there's only one true factor for success, and that is put the hours in, think smart, work hard, learn from the things that don't work. Don't try to repeat those things unless you're sure that you'll break through the ice. If you're sure, then always follow your dreams and go for it. Just make sure there's logic behind it. But the only chance of success is hard work. That's it. Anybody that doesn't work hard is very unlikely to be successful.
Agreed. I have the network builder website.
And have fun. Fuck's sake. Have fun. This is something that I've seen, and I see it, especially on crypto Twitter. What are people doing? I made a comment the other day. One of the, I don't want to name names, but it's there. It's like, why are you shitting on your own bag? Why are you trashing your own bags? What are you doing? Like, you believe in a project, you've been in it for so long, all of a sudden it's down. And so what that makes you crazy, that you need to go online and you need to start talking about it publicly so that when new people are coming in, ADA is a perfect example of that. ADA is an incredible blockchain, right? Cardano is an incredible blockchain that's been built properly. It doesn't have the tools that it needs yet to be able to become the success that it is. But all of a sudden, as soon as the price is down to 30 cents, people are like, oh, I told my friend to buy ADA, and they said that they bought it and they made a profit, but they'd never buy it again. It's like, what are you doing? Do you not realize that the way that you talk, the things that you write, they project upon other people? So, and I think Elon Musk is the best person to have said this. I'd rather wake up pessimistic and fail to achieve something than wake up negative and achieve nothing at all. Right?
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of someone that DM'd me maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And he's an Earth node operator. And he said, hey, I have a few ULOs that I've lined up, quite a few actually. And where do I send them? Like, is there a community Discord? And I said, whatever you do, don't send them to Telegram, because it's a slaughterhouse there. It's people are just, they don't understand. Like, new people are going to come into this project specifically talking about Unity, and they want to learn more about it, right? They want to interact with other people. And when they come in there and they see all the stuff that is being said, it's a turnoff, and as a UNO, who I'm sure a lot of people have invested a lot of money into this, I mean, that's the whole point. Like, you want to welcome people, you want to explain to them what's happening. And if you want to have a side channel where you can like vent your frustrations for whatever reason, then have your side channel. But it's just so I I said, look, just talk to them privately and don't send them to the Telegram channel for now, you know. And that's the sad and honest truth, you know.
Well, it's like you take a shop, you set it up, the air conditioning isn't working, and then you stand outside and you tell people, I wouldn't go in that shop. The air conditioning isn't working. It's like, instead of go out there, get a fan, make an effort, do something, apologize, and say, you know what, the air conditioning will be working soon. Don't worry about it. You know, let me give you a 10% discount on your purchase because you've sweated, it's hot in here. Instead, it's like you write signs all over your shop. Never enter this shop. The shop didn't have air conditioning. It wasn't working. It's like, what's the logic behind any of that?
And by the way, shout out to Val and Callus and all the Minutes that Work ambassadors and everyone that's in that chat, you know. And this is not a jab at anyone whatsoever. I just, you know, pointed out something. But yeah, everyone's, you know, there's people in there that are nonstop, like doing a really good job. So shout out to them. I just, you know, wish that it could be a little bit different and people can be a little more optimistic.
It will be. It will be. You know, again, it's the reality slaps you in the face always, whether you want it to or not. So eventually, the reality will come, and people will say, and you know, those people, they probably won't say sorry. They'll just disappear into the abyss, and they'll jump to another project, and they'll be negative in other projects, and that's an unfortunate way that humans are. I just don't live like that, and I think if I had have lived like that as a human, I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I've achieved before, right? In the past. So it's a lot of it's about mindset. You know, you wake up in the morning, you know what you want to do, you know what you need to achieve, and then all of a sudden, you know, you wake up, you find something on your front door, and then you run back into the house crying. No, you kick at whatever in the front door, you kick it away, you pick it up, you use a plastic bag if you have to, you put it in the bin, you wash it down, and then you carry on about your day without crying. And these are the hurdles and the challenges that happen. It's the same in crypto. It's the same as a token holder. It's the same in many ways. You just got to get up and go. If you believe in something, then do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like, I'm seeing the meme right now, you know, like reality is Jake Paul and then Anthony Joshua as World Mobile and then the knockout, you know?
You know, I've got to give it to him, though. He had such big balls to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua.
Oh, yeah.
I respect Jake Paul so much more than I did on any of his other fights, because the fact that he got in there and actually he gave it a go. You know, no one can now say that he didn't fight a proper boxer. He fought a proper boxer. He got a broken jaw twice, you know, in two different places. And I think Anthony Joshua went very easy on him. But, you know, yeah, I think you're right. World Mobile is the Anthony Joshua, and there are many others that are posing as boxers. But the irony is that they won't even get in the ring. No. You know, how many times do I come online? How many times are you, as the World Mobile Alliance, online? How many times is Josh online? How many times is Emmanuel Young online? Where are these people? Where are they? They can only write behind a keyboard. Why? Why can't they have a conversation? Why can't they jump online with us and talk to us? Why? We're very respectful. We're very humble in the way that we approach. We're not going to shoot anybody down. We're happy to have those conversations. And maybe with those conversations heard in public, it could be different. But instead, a lot of these people are hiding behind avatars, you know, making accounts that only have 10 followers or 8 followers or 22 followers, typing stuff. They're invoking things that don't exist, that are not there. And then World Mobile drops by 20%. And then all of a sudden people say, you know what, that avatar was right. You know, and then it becomes this infectious ball of just toxicity. And that is the downfall of many projects. When we came into the Cardano ecosystem, it was the beautiful thing about the Cardano ecosystem is that everybody was positive. And in those days, you know, Cardano was 2 cents or 3 cents, right? And then we had the big bull run of 2021. Cardano went up to whatever it went up to. And then all of a sudden you started to see people becoming toxic, and human nature becomes something that is the downfall of societies and civilizations, and people starting to fight in-house, and then projects starting to fight. And it's like, hold on, we're here to make blockchain great. We're not here to make an individual project great. We're here to change the world. And that whole vision was forgotten. And then from being forgotten, it then became a very hostile scenario to be involved in. And I think it still is today. And when I look at the base ecosystem, I feel like that's very similar to the early days of the Cardano ecosystem. They talk about the problems that they have, but they don't shit on their own ecosystem. You know, when I look at the Ethereum ecosystem, it's almost dead, right? because the projects have had so many rugs. They've built so many things that were just built for Web3 people. When I look at Sui, you know, that's having its moment right now. You know, there's a common thing is don't be toxic, question, ask, be educated, educate other people. But the toxicity is crazy. And I hope that Cardano can recover from it. And it's not just the Cardano problem, just to put it out there before I have any more Cardano haters. I love Cardano. We've promoted and pushed Cardano. I still talk about Cardano. World Mobile is on CoinMarketCap listed as a Cardano token, right? I think that Cardano has a lot of good things going for it. And I think that Night could potentially be great for Cardano as well. But the people have to change a little bit because it's horrible. It's a horrible environment. You don't want to open up Twitter. You don't want to see it. You just see, you know, and there's people that are probably still holding bags as well. It's just like the irony is that they're not thinking, they're just talking. But let us not get into the depression that there is. Let's focus on what's good. And World Mobile is one of those shining lights that is very good. And I'm very thankful to the community and to the World Mobile members of staff and the co-founders that we've managed to make this beacon of light amongst the very difficult, turbulent situation.
Well, you talked about a couple of things, Mickey, as far as different options and different earning potentials within World Mobile, even currently. You know, right now the big two are definitely staking your tokens just to earn more tokens, but then also the air nodes, and that's something that's bringing in fiat, you know, every month. And for the Sparks, you know, consistently for over a year. I can only speak for myself because I'll never want to give financial advice, but I've been earning between 35 and 38% fixed every month on my Spark Air nodes. It just depends on your buy-in price for that. And you know, you talk about almost 100,000 air nodes are for sale right now, and that's something that people I think get
not for sale. They might be when the NFTs come out. But I doubt it because I think it's very hard to find a real world product with this kind of yields.
Right.
But they're already deployed. They're already owned by community.
And the thing about this, I think people argue and they complain so much when the money isn't flowing. Right. Well, it's like this is an opportunity to earn something on a purchase, on an investment right off the bat. And that's what I love about when people buy an air node. They're, like you said, they're already deployed, so they're earning from day one. You don't have to wait for someone to set something up and try and get it installed. It's you guys only sell them when you've proven that they work. And before I share the network builder, I was informed via a message from that someone thinks the only thing I do is self promote. So I'm in a little shameless self promotion here. For the alliance. But Mickey, you've provided us an opportunity to actually sell these. There is actually no air node drops for the rest of this year. The next one will be in January. But you know, we now have the opportunity as the alliance to sell these to the community and start earning immediately. You don't have to wait for the drops to happen to start earning. And we're able to actually sell bundles of these. And so if people are interested in being a part of that right now, getting some sparks, they can go right to our website, worldmobilealliance.io.
It's a brilliant initiative, as is the initiative of all of the partners. It just shows how World Mobile can spread and grow and bigger, and its tentacles get longer through different revenues and verticals and horizontals. And this is just one of them. You know, we probably have 10 partners or more in the World Mobile Node distribution platform. And I was very excited to see you and you deserve it as much as anybody else does. You know, the work that you put in, you're here now on a Saturday, missing time with your family. You're there every day online to do the things. So yeah, please go and buy Sparks from the World Mobile Alliance. They made a beautiful website and they're a fantastic enterprise that is growing World Mobile. And again, when you ask me what's very exciting, I'm very excited to see the community and especially the World Mobile Alliance and where that will be in 2026 and 2027.
Yeah, we're growing. We're pushing some boundaries, and we have a lot of things that are already being built up right now that we can't wait to deploy at the beginning of the new year. So,
Okay,
but
when you
again,
show network builders, Mike
Uh-huh.
has some big things planned for Monday. So you've got to show it
Okay.
and then close it.
Okay. What I was thinking about doing was the main page and then just clicking on explore real quick and maybe zooming in on a single hex. If that's okay. So
I'll take the bullets, don't worry.
all right. So you just tell me when to hit stop sharing and I'll stop. But we'll switch over to that now. No more self-promotion from Rob and the Alliance.
Rob, you're such a bad self-promoter.
Terrible.
I've got to say, you get a lot of grief from the community as well, but you've been one since there from the very beginning. You've always supported us. You've been a massive helping hand in anything that we've ever done or asked for. And I very much appreciate you, Rob, as I do everybody else as well. But I think sometimes you get more shit than you deserve.
My problem is I don't have much of a filter, and there's times where I say what's real, I say what's on my mind, and that hurts feelings. And sometimes
you told me many times what's on your mind as well. By the way, it's not just a love sycophantic relationship where there's many times you've sat me down and said, Mickey, this needs to change. This happens, this, that. And we've had those conversations. They're uncomfortable, right? For you and for me. But it's
sometimes you say okay, and sometimes you smack me, and that's fine. I'm still here. You're still here.
And with Clover as well. You do the same to me as well. You messaged me the other day and said to me, listen, I don't think we should be doing this because of X, Y, and Z. I can tell you, okay, I think we should because in the next 2 to 3 weeks, that's going to be fixed and we need to build up to it. And you say, okay, I understand. But there's no subjective relationship here between anybody in the world mobile ecosystem. Right. It's always a very objective relationship, but the common factor that unites us is that we all want the success of world mobile.
100%.
And I think what speaks loudest to me there is, Mickey, the fact that you and your team actually sit down and listen. And it's amazing where I'll say something to you, and then I'll get a message from one of your team members 2-3 days later that, hey, that's in the works, or we've addressed this. I mean, it's not just idle complaining and idle, yeah, we'll look into it. It's you listen, you're very, very proactive about it, and things happen. And sometimes, just because we want something doesn't mean it's right. But the fact that you hear us out and at least acknowledge, hey, I understand what you're saying. This is why it might be better to go this route. But a lot of times, Cal and I, we'll say things and we'll see, hey, we didn't think about it that way, or I think your way's better, and you actually have done things. So the fact that you listen, you pay attention, you care about us, and you're not so focused on what you're doing that nobody else can have an opinion or an idea. That shows a lot of character, a lot of leadership there on your part, and so we're very, very thankful for you and the people that you've put around you that have that same mentality.
I just want to jump in there and also say that they don't just listen, but they also fix the problems or issues that we bring up as well, which is very important. And I did post out something under your comment the other day, Mickey, and I said that you are I appreciate you for being in the trenches, and I really do, because there's not too many founders, again, that will come out there whenever there's bloods on the streets, and you would, explain calmly and you give education to people, which is very important in my opinion. So we appreciate you for that as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you as I do the community. My power is partially in my hairy chest, partially in my vision, but without the community, we would be powerless. We would just be like any other centralized company, right? And I'll be looking to say, okay, I'm building this, I'm going to sell it for $50 million or $100 million, just as I have done previously, different companies that I've worked in or with or owned. And that would be it. It would be kind of a meaningless thing. It would just be building to secure my family. Here, I'm building to secure the connectivity for everybody that I possibly can in the world. But beyond that, I'm also building to create a community, a sharing economy that is more powerful than anything ever seen before.
Absolutely. And part of that is this network builder here that I think everyone's very, very excited about. And I know that, like you said, Mike has something in the coming days, and this is going live, and very exciting.
Going live on the 22nd. If there's no major hiccups, it's going live on the 22nd, which is in 2 days' time. And there's multiple different stages. I think they're outlined in that blog itself. But this will be the first time the world has actually seen this. Thank you very much as well, Van der Krieft. Thank you, Val.
So gonna just click on this explore button here. So there's a couple buttons on the side: home, the auctions, explore, and then business. And you can see there's things here on the main page as well. We're not gonna steal Mike's thunder, but we'll just hit explore, and we'll go to the opportunity map just to show what the map looks like here in the US as this launches first in the US. But as you zoom in, you can see that most of the US, minus some federal land, is all hexalated out. You can zoom in on your city, and let's say you want to look at a place right outside of Fresno. You can actually click on a hex and see population, number of buildings. There's a lot of good information here that will help encourage and also help justify what the starting bid is and why that works. So again, very, very cool opportunities here. You know, you zoom out to a place that's maybe a little less populated or maybe a little more populated, and you can see how the starting bid might increase for something, but what the population is, how this all works. So definitely, I think there's
also, you've got the top right there as well, which is logging in, which is all online, which creates your DID, which also allows you to mint your NFTs and everything else. I think we're going to see a revival of NFTs from World Mobile, but not NFTs with. I've got to admit, I have a few NFTs as well. I love pictures, but what was the true value of those? The uniqueness, yeah, but nothing really took off like Pokemon or baseball cards or basketball cards yet in the ecosystem. But what will take off is permits, these operating licenses. And that's what we think that our personal belief is that World Mobile Chain eventually will become the home to all DeepIn and RWA licenses and permits, because that's what it's being built for. We may not start on World Mobile Chain, as much as that sounds very counterproductive, because at the moment the tooling isn't quite there. So it functions very well for us and our customers, and it will continue to function as we grow. But we need to focus on revenue coming in from subscribers as opposed to building out our own ecosystem. There is a grant program that we're working on that should be reborn in 2026. But again, we'll probably launch the first NFTs on Base and Ethereum just to make as much noise as we possibly can and allow people from the DeFi scenes to be able to come in and say, well, this is very interesting, isn't it? I can buy an NFT that actually has a historical yield that I can see what it's doing. I can see the customers that are connected, and then they dig and they see World Mobile. And then who knows, maybe a year or two afterwards, then we pull everything across the World Mobile chain and we become the de facto most used blockchain, not just by our users as our subscribers, but also by traditional Web3 users. And also, I don't know if you saw, but the Token Invest, we're going to be the first RWA platform there. They are teaming up with a tier 1 exchange, a big one. And we will be available there as an RWA. So that's kind of a new era for us and kind of where the market is heading. So RWA NFTs, DeepIn NFTs, licenses, permits, a whole bunch of things that we haven't even thought about. We can start to grow and pull people in from other ecosystems into our ecosystem.
And there's a blog about that on worldmobile.io. If you go to worldmobile.io, you look over here to the right side, there's a little blog drop down, and you're able to view a lot of the big announcements, but not just in a tweet, but actually explained, really well written blogs, including the network builder one that you had discussed, just came out yesterday with tons of information. But that Token Invest is right there as well, just came out 4 days ago. So, Mick, what do you have planned for? I know you don't take a lot of downtime, but what do you have planned for this holiday season with the family? I talked about getting together, doing a few things.
I'll have everybody at my house. That means everybody means Josh and his family, so my nieces, my nephew, and Josh's wife. I have my mom here, my sister here, and then of course my kids and my wife's parents. And I'll be smoking 2 turkeys. I'll be making some absolutely incredible roast potatoes, which is a speciality of mine. Tip for you: when you make a roast potato, when you parboil them, you need to drop garlic and rosemary in the water as you boil them, because then it infuses throughout. And then you need to make sure that all of the steam has evaporated before you even think about putting the potatoes into the butter and olive oil mix. And then they come out the most crispy. So I'm a very big foodie. I don't unfortunately get much time to cook. When I do cook, I cook usually for my kids and my wife, and I'm looking forward to cooking for the family. There's some TV shows that I've been waiting to watch all year where I haven't had any time. So I want to watch those with the kids. I've been telling them they're not allowed to watch them as well, so that we can have our list. So we've got 2 or 3 TV shows. I've bought my kids some pretty cool toys this year that they're going to enjoy, including some air rifles. Hopefully they're not listening to my spaces or this spaces right now, including some air rifles. So we'll be doing a lot of target practice in the back garden. And in general, just spending time with the family. On the 27th, I have the whole day booked out with Alan, Andy, Nick, Charles, and Emmanuel. So we will take the opportunity, whilst there's probably only about 20 staff at World Mobile working during the Christmas period from the 100 that we've got, we'll probably take the opportunity to sit and brainstorm and make sure that we hit January full speed running. And then we're also scheduled to talk again on the 30th, which I think is a weekend, but I'm not sure. And then we will align and do another whole workshop online, but with a few more members of staff. And then just getting ready. I'm sure we're going to enjoy the 31st and the 1st of January. And then the 2nd, I'll be probably quite irritable and frustrated and waiting for everybody to get back to work so that we can enact upon the plans that we've got and make sure that we're with metal to the pedal. What is that saying? Metal to the pedal, right?
Pedal to the
Pedal
metal.
to the metal.
That's the one. English isn't my first language, so you have to forgive me, but pedal to the metal.
Nice. Well, Mick, I know that you know that you have an open invite here to my house, but if we can plan something ever in advance, because the potatoes that we grow in my potato patch, and then my pasture raised, organically fed turkeys, you've never had a better turkey in your life. And I can't imagine my food with your cooking. I think that would be the end of it.
It's got to be a date for 2027, right? And we need to bring the World Mobile community, whoever can make it there as well. Maybe that's something that we should focus on in January, is making an announcement for, it could be pre-rare Evo, which would make more sense for me, because I live in between UAE and Europe. So if we could time that right, but I would love to do it. And I think that you'd also respect me for a few more things once you'd see me in the kitchen. And then around the campfire with Rick Middleton playing some guitar.
Well, I got the Knopfler guitar ready for you whenever you want to plug it in as well. So,
have you picked it up and played it recently though?
I have. I've been playing the Telly lately.
Oh, it's beautiful. Chet Atkins is one of my favorite guitarists. I was completely blown away the first time I'd ever heard him. And then there was a guy who my late father knew. His name was Lee Hodgson, one of the best pickers I've ever seen, like one of the fastest country guitarists I've ever seen. So, growing up to see those guys play, my parents were musicians as well. So I was just inspired totally. I think music made up a lot of my life on how I focused on things and how I learned. And, learning a hard piece of music, when you can't read any music, when you don't have a computer and you've just got to hear it by ear, and because your dad doesn't want to teach you it because he thinks that kind of music sucks. So you learn. It's like the martial arts is the same thing. Like, why do I have to do katas? Why do I have to do these forms? Why do I have to do these patterns? And then you realize how hard something is until you practice it enough and you master it, and that pretty much anything is achievable. So I think that's probably the final notes for me on this one, and to wish everybody that I'm not going to speak to before the new year a very happy new year and a very happy Christmas. And for those of you that celebrate Hanukkah as well, happy Hanukkah, and any pagan festival in between, and any winter festival. And remember that anything is achievable. And if there's one thing that we've shown so far, is we've broken many records already. We've changed the system. We are just out of proof of concept, but none of it would be possible without us. And together, we're unstoppable. So on that note, thank you very much, Rob. Thank you very much, Clover. I'm going to go, and I've actually got a call now with TT, and then I'm going to go and say goodnight to my kids.
Amazing. Mickey, thank you for being here. I know that the people that have been watching and tuning in, I'm getting text messages from people saying how epic your monologues are, how much they appreciate you coming here for the end of the year show. And we're just so thankful just to know you, to be a part of this, to be allowed to participate in this with you. And I mean, like we've said, Cal and I, we will very, very soon be full-time mobilers, and that's not a job. It's not it's a calling, and it's something that we're excited and passionate to do.
It's a way of life. It's a movement that hasn't been seen before. It's something that I'm very proud to have started, and I'll be very proud to see it grow again in 2027. I just want to say as well, finally, before I go, sometimes, in fact, every single time, I speak from the heart. I get a lot of people excited, sometimes accidentally. I never pre-script anything. I think, Rob, you've seen that. You know, they've been like, oh, wow, I've got a speech now. Shit, what do I say? Okay, here we go. Because I feel that from your heart, from your soul, when you speak, that's the time that the people appreciate it the most. And I've made sure that I continue to do that on the trenches. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to implement any changes or suggestions that are made. But more than anything, I'm ready to make sure that we continue to succeed. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, and have a fantastic Christmas and a new year.
Thank you, Mickey. Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
Man, that was a good show. Mickey is absolutely amazing.
Great show. You know, it's funny, he talked about pre-scripting, and there's been twice where I have been asked to at conventions give an introduction for Mickey, and the first time I didn't. Well, I can think on my feet. I sounded like an idiot. I just blathered on. I don't know what I was saying. I was talking over myself. It was awful. So the next time somebody asked me to do it, I thought about it, and I worked on it. I mean, this is at Rare Eva this past year, and I'm in the hotel room, and I'm re-scripting this thing. I'm talking to myself. I'm recording myself. I'm like, because I don't want to sound like an idiot again. I was pretty embarrassed the first time, and so I get there, and we're behind the stage waiting for Mickey for his turn. I say, Mickey, here's what I'm going to say, and this is 5 minutes before we go on. And I said, I'm going to say this. He goes, Rob, take as long as you want. I only have about 15 minutes. I'm going to talk, but they slotted me for 30. So take as long as you want. And I'm like, oh, I need 3 minutes. Here's what I'm going to say. He goes, yeah, you're not saying any of that. He goes, that's my speech. So here I am, excited about this. I'm prepared. I know what I'm going to say. And Mickey says, don't say any of that. And it did turn out better the second time, but man, that was I was a little bit panicked before that, because I was all ready to go, and he said I can't say what I was planning. But
well, that's how
it is.
I feel like
it is true
in
though.
this moment, like you get to learn how to present in front of people, and that's the best way. He put you in a good position. You were a little nervous, and I think you did great. And it's funny. My dad was asking me this morning, "It's your final show. Like, what are you guys gonna talk about?" And I said, I have no idea. We're just gonna freestyle it. There's just always so much to talk about. I don't need to prepare for these things, because I already know it's gonna be an absolutely an amazing show, with or without preparing. And I think it went really well, Rob. So yeah, good job.
Well, when Mickey's here, it makes it a lot easier, because we can just absorb it just like everybody else. And that's the thing. Mickey texted me about 90 minutes before the show just to verify the show time. But that was it was a message, hey, can you join us? Yeah, I'll be there. And then today it was just remind me of the time. and that was it. So like, we don't tell him what we want to talk about. We don't ask him what, I mean, that was me putting a little pressure on. Too bad we can't show the network builders today. You know, we didn't have permission in advance to do that. We weren't going to do that, but I thought I'd put him on the spot. We just, when Mickey's here, we can just absorb it, and we're absorbing it just like everybody else. We're hearing a lot of the stuff for the first time. We're sitting here getting excited, getting motivated, getting pumped up, just like everybody else is listening live, because it's fresh to us as well. And so I think that's what makes it so great, is we're all doing this together. We're all reacting together, and getting to participate in the same way.
Right. Yeah. All right. I mean, we've been going for about 1 hour and 40 minutes now, and we've discussed a lot of different things on today's show. We have Mr. Telecom come on today's show, and he gave an extensive breakdown of all the different highlights that World Mobile has achieved in 2025 and earlier, 2024, 2023, and the list is massive, guys and girls. I mean, you can just go on X, and there's been quite a few people that have also given an extensive list, and it's insane where we are today and where we'll be in 2026. So I'm personally beyond excited.
Can you imagine people going on X, listening to the show, going on YouTube, clipping the show like they do when Mickey talks? And I mean, he went at one point, I think he went for like 15 minutes before we even jumped in and said anything. And it's like, man, go longer. But just imagine the clips, the sound bites, imagine WMTX ladies breakdowns of the show, or Hydrix. Imagine those guys going, or Rob blistering Earth Node, and his weekly recaps of World Mobile stuff. Just imagine how incredible it's going to be with everything that Mickey just went on and on about and talked about at length, coming back to so many good things. It's hard to, you hear something like that, it's hard to be discouraged by, oh, there's a delay, or oh, this isn't going right, or oh, the token price, because there is so much good there. And it's like, man, if you can look past your little differences, your little frustrations, your little whatever's triggering you, or hasn't met your expectation, there is so much there. It's hard to get discouraged when you really, as Val says all the time, zoom out and look at the context and look at the bigger picture here. So man, I can't wait to read those again. I can't wait to watch this show without having to think about what should I say next, or what should I ask next, or what direction are we going, and just be able to sit and absorb it. I'm very much looking forward to that later today.
Yeah, same here. I'm looking forward to it as well. And yeah, I mean, I just want to remind everyone, there's quite a few things that just got released in the World Mobile ecosystem. The affiliate codes are out now, and you can go to your My World Mobile dashboard and actually get one of these affiliate codes, so you can start pushing out the USA plans out to people. It's open to the wider public. Everyone can go ahead and subscribe. Me and Rob have been subscribers for a bit now as the network founders, and quite a few people, and you can now actually earn a bit of money. Well, actually, I shouldn't have said a bit of money. It's quite a big amount compared to other telecom networks. You can go out with your own QR code and start onboarding people. And yeah, I'm looking forward for next week, because the network builder first phase is going to be released, and I feel like that's probably one of the most anticipated things of 2025. So I'm excited to see what Mike's been cooking on the background. I know he's been working extensively. And not only Mike, there's quite a bit of people that have been working on the network builder stack and platform. But I'm excited for it to go live, for other people to actually get to mess around with it and get to see the potential that this platform is going to bring in 2026 and beyond. So I'm looking forward to these things. So yeah, Rob, I mean, should we have some final thoughts?
Yeah. If you want, I'll jump in first and let you close it out.
Sure.
But you mentioned Mike, and I want to just highlight Mike a little bit. And Mike is someone who doesn't come around very often publicly. He'll be on some of the AMAs with the guys, but he's juggling so many things, and he has so many projects lined up, things he's trying to do and navigate and thread through and weave into this tapestry that is World Mobile. And he doesn't get credit for a lot of it. And I just know when I spent some time with him, it wasn't the first time we'd met, but at Rare Evo this past year, spent some time with Mike, just watching how he was doing, 8-10 different things on top of what was happening at Rare Evo, putting on the presentations, running the booth, all the different things that were going on. And Mike's not alone in that. There's a lot of guys, everybody that is working World Mobile has those responsibilities, but some people you get to see a lot more, and some people, because of what they're doing, they have to stay back a little bit. And so I'm really excited to see network builders come out. As Micky said, Mike has this big presentation. We kind of teased a little bit of what the website looks like, but Mike is going to go over it in detail. I believe in 2 days. I believe on Monday.
Yeah, there's an AMA coming up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Mike does there. And again, he's one of the guys that he's the chief marketing, right? He has that C in his title, but he's probably the guy that other than Mr. Embargo, probably, if you take that away, someone who probably gets the least public recognition for what he does. And so I wanted to highlight that. It's impressive. I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't. I couldn't do a third of what he was doing. And so wanted to highlight Mike. And Cal, I look back on this past year of doing things, and I mean, we went to Denver together. Rare Evo was huge. We've put spaces on almost every weekend for the entire year. We've done things in the meantime. We've done some how-to, some walkthrough videos, some couple Friday night shows, and it just seems like I'm more and more motivated to do things because I see what's happening. And then the fact I mentioned earlier in the show, the fact that we are getting people that want to come on the show. It used to be, I think at the beginning they weren't sure about us. They weren't sure if this was just a, hey, I'm running a space and I want you to bring me some notoriety. Come to my space. We've been doing this for a while, and like we said, I think people used to be excited when we would have a guest, and I think that while that excitement is still there, I think we've been spoiled, and I think others have been spoiled too. It's almost like there's an expectation. I'll be texting somebody or DMing somebody, and hey, we got a show this weekend. Who's your guest? It's almost like they expect it. So anyway, it's 2025 has been a great year for us. There's been ups and downs. There's been frustrations. There's been things that we've had to address. There's been things that the team has had to address with us, as we were all moving forward. But again, like I say, we're going in the same direction, and it's very, very, very exciting to look at the end of 2024 to the end of 2025. And they're different leagues. You're talking minor leagues, major leagues. There's so much. We've elevated so much, and I think as we've elevated, the expectations have multiplied, and people are excited, people are dreaming, people are thinking real big, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this. I'm honored that Micky would come on our show. It's great to have a guy like that you can call a friend, and you can reach out to if you need something, but you also know that he's the person you want running the company that you are investing in, that you are believing in. So very thankful for that. Cal, like I said at the beginning, I posted some pictures of us in Denver. Very, very thankful for you and all that you bring to this community, the way that you encourage me and you help build me up and make me better, especially here with World Mobile and how we are doing things together. But so very, very thankful, very excited for what's coming. And I think 2026 is going to be, I think that my expectations are already too low, but that goes for the Alliance, that goes for World Mobile, that goes for all the things that we're doing individually and together. So Again, thank you, Cal. Thank you, community, for being here, for taking this time. I hope that if you're celebrating Hanukkah, you're having a great Hanukkah. A couple of days left there, and then if you're celebrating Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas. And we will be seeing you guys after Christmas, but before New Year's. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. That was a good ending right there. And I'm no wonder they call you Rob the Reverend, man. I mean, you're absolutely amazing with these endings, you know. And my endings are much shorter, you know. But I'm also very appreciative of you, Rob. I mean, we've done this for quite a long time, and you know, it's not our last show this year. We'll do one more X show next weekend. So I invite everyone there, and you know, we don't stop. Just like World Mobile, like we don't like to take breaks, just because we like the community very much, and we want everyone to be involved. And we know there's people out there like us who also don't take breaks, and we want to be with them in the trenches, just like Mickey is in the trenches with everyone else. Whether token's up or a token is down, we're here, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about World Mobile and everything that World Mobile does every single day. So yeah, I mean, I'm also very appreciative of everyone in the community, everyone that shows up every single day and do all the things that bring World Mobile to the spotlight. And I also have lots of expectations in 2026, and I know these expectations are going to be met because things are starting to finally align. And I feel like, you know, World Mobile has proven this year that it's no longer an idea, and it's literally a living network built by real people like me and you and everyone that's listening, and it's delivering like real connectivity, and it's producing real results. The air notes and all the data and everything else speaks for itself. I've said it many times, numbers don't lie. And you know, we might be in a weird situation right now with this whole market going up and down, and there's many different rumors and speculations about it. But I feel like what the most important thing is that World Mobile is delivering on all fronts. All the things are improving, and I feel like 2026 is going to be a much better year than 2025, just because all of the hard work and all of the foundations are finally starting to come together. A lot of people like to use the analogy of a puzzle, and all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And I'm excited that finally, the network builder is going to be out. And, you know, there's been so many people in the community, so many Earth node operators, so many air node operators that have been asking to get their hands wet and dirty. And this is going to be the time where people can finally pick up that shovel and start to shine and start to bring customers to the World Mobile Network, and start to, you know, use their affiliate networks and just make World Mobile a household name. So that's what I'm truly looking forward to in 2026. Just waking up one day and doing this show and saying, wow, I can't believe World Mobile is already, you know, in the United States, and there's 1 million customers on the networks. And I'm sure that day is going to come, and it's going to come sooner than most people expect, just because I know how hard World Mobile works and the team behind it, and I've seen the stuff that they can deliver and all the stuff they've done. So yeah, that with that said, I mean, I just want to remind everyone that our AirNode platform is live, and the sale that we're running is going to be running till the end of this year. So if you want to pick up some AirNodes, World Mobile's not doing another drop this year, but we are, and we have a bunch of bundles that you can buy from, and they're on sale right now. So if you want to head over to the worldmobilealliance.io, you'll be able to find these 4 beautiful and well-priced bundles. There's also an FAQ underneath that you can utilize, and this FAQ would hopefully answer all of your questions. But if it doesn't, you can always reach out to the World Mobile Alliance, DM me or Rob, and we'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And yeah,
one thing it doesn't say on there that we would do is if let's say you wanted to buy 600 nodes, right? So you'd buy the 500 package, and then a 100 package, right? But you see there's a price differential between the two. And so what we would do is we would make sure that you paid the lowest price for all of them, not pay the 500 price and the 100 price, or the 500 price and the 50 price. So definitely there's ways to make multiple bundles, and the goal here is to maximize how many you're able to get at the best price possible for that. So we're not trying to fleece people. We're just trying to make sure that there is an incentive, and it's cost effective for what we're doing. But Cal, we've had several hundred already sell, and talk to some people. They're saying, hey, first of the year I get my Christmas bonus check, or whenever that comes in here next payday, I'm going to be placing the order. We're hearing a lot of this kind of a thing. And so the nice thing about this is we can't sell out. We don't sell out. We're able to get these and get them to you. Once they're paid, everything goes through World Mobile. We don't touch money, none of that. So we're able to go directly to World Mobile and get these, and these are outside of the drops. You don't have to wait for World Mobile to release things and then try to fight for getting 5 or 10 or 15. You can get them out you want, when you have the money. And like you said, there's no more drops for this year. We can still purchase them. We can still access them. Anyone who comes through the worldmobilealliance.io website is going to be able to access this.
Right. Yeah. And again, the sale is running till the end of the year. And what's really cool is that the World Mobile Alliance also has many different things that this website is going to evolve. This is just version 0.1, should I say. There's also going to be other air nodes that are going to be offered through the World Mobile Alliance. There's actually a Titan air node that's currently in our inventory, and it's for sale. It's not live on the website. You will have to reach out to us, but we're looking to actually put it on our website pretty soon. So you'll be able to buy one of these highly desired Titan air nodes if you wish to. So,
and actually, yeah. I did misspeak last time we did a show. We talked about the Titan. I said I'm about 90% sure. I think I said 90%, but on the price on that, and I was slightly off. The price on the Titan is $101,500. So it's just slightly over what World Mobile sells. But again, we have it in the inventory, and you're able to access that whenever you're ready. And so it might be a thing where one of the reasons, well, why would I pay $1,500 more through you guys? Well, number one, this includes a year's worth of insurance. We're covering the first year of insurance for any node that you buy through us. That comes right off the top for us. We are buying your insurance. The other thing is we don't know when World Mobile is going to release a Titan again. So that the amount that you pay to buy a Titan through the Alliance right now, you might get 2-3 months worth of earnings before World Mobile launches a Titan for sale on their marketplace. So you probably potentially could make more than that back if the circumstances are correct. So it's definitely ways to think about, getting the opportunity now at the best price. And I believe that from everything I've seen, we have the best prices of anybody who was selling nodes outside of the official drops through World Mobile. So I feel very good about that. Trying to do whatever we can to benefit the community in the best ways possible.
Right. Yeah. Greatly put together there, Rob. So yeah, I mean, with that said, we've been running for about literally 2 hours now, and let's shut it down. And I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating, or if you don't celebrate anything, well, then, spend some time with family, because I feel like that's the most important thing you can do in life. Be around the people that you love. And with that said, thank you everyone that joined us today. We'll see you on our X show next Saturday, and I'm looking forward to talking with you guys and girls there. Have a great weekend, everyone.
All right, take care. Be ready for the Unity AMA coming up, I believe, and also the Network Builders AMA coming up, and all the things that are coming here very soon. Just because we're taking holiday breaks doesn't mean World Mobile is. And so we're still going. A lot's going to happen. And we'll have a ton to discuss next week after Christmas. So until then, everyone, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out in the DMs. We're always here to help if we can. Thanks and take care.